My name is Ted, and I'm here to talk to you today about how I became a Muslim. I was born and raised in the United States. I came from a background where we did go to church every Sunday. I was a Catholic, along with the rest of my family. The vast majority of my town really didn't believe in the doctrines of the Catholic Church or in Christianity. We did have a belief in God. You could ask most young guys, and they would say that they believed in God. But that was about it. The doctrines of the church weren't really widely held by the majority of the population. And when I was growing up, I didn't really care much about the world, to be honest. I was in my little bubble in my small little town. Now, life continued for me until I was about 16, and I started to become more interested in a lot of different things that were happening in the world. What drew my attention was the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And I just never really quite understood what was going on and why. I didn't understand why the Palestinians wouldn't give up. It just was bizarre to me to see this beaten down population withstand so much oppression for such a long time. While I was learning about the Palestinians and about the Israelis, I came across this picture of a Palestinian woman in hijab. She was wearing hijab, a scarf, but the thing that was interesting about the picture is that she was raising a book. It was this Arabic book. So what is that? What is this book? I showed it to my teacher, and he informed me that this is the book of Muslims. This is the Quran. And I said, what's that? There must be something in this book that has given her the strength to be so bold and to not give up in the face of all this kind of tyranny. So at the age of 16, I secretly went to a bookstore 2 towns over, and I bought a copy of the Quran in English. And it was probably the most taboo book to have in my town. I think I would have been in more trouble to have that book than to have any kind of other, paraphernalia. It would be considered like paraphernalia. So I hid the Quran in a paper bag in my jacket, and I came back home. I actually took the bus so that my parents wouldn't even know that I was gone, because we did have a vehicle at that time. And I started to read through it, and it made absolutely no sense to me. I didn't really know what I was reading, and also I believe that the translation I had wasn't really this high quality translation. So long story short, I took that copy of the Quran and I put it on the doorstep of a used bookstore, because again, I didn't even want to be caught with that in my hands. So my first exposure was that. My first exposure to Islam was buying this copy of the Quran to try to find out about what's going on in the world. The second exposure that I had to Islam was Malcolm X. Malcolm X was taught in my high school. I believe I was 17 or maybe 18 years old in my English class, and we studied his speeches, as a form of American rhetoric, to learn more about how he gave his speeches and his eloquence and how his speech patterns were different than the rest of American orators. Practicing his speeches, we actually watched his autobiography, the Spike Lee movie called Malcolm. I think it was just called X. And there's a part of that movie that shows the Hajj. The Hajj is this pilgrimage to Mecca in which, the pilgrims, I'm sure you've all probably seen it now on TV, but we didn't have that chance to see it when I was growing up. And so it was my first time seeing it. It was something beautiful to see all these different people from different backgrounds worshiping God. And it was something that blew me away. So my interest in Islam was still there, although I didn't really know how to go about learning the religion. Then later, before I entered into college, I did have a bizarre dream. I dreamt of the end of the world, but it was actually this moment of silence before the beginning of the end of the world. I should say it was before the beginning of the end of the world. We were all assembled. We were just sitting, and we were sitting in rows around the Kaaba, around the black house in Mecca, the house that was built by Abraham and his son Ismail, alayhi salam, peace be upon them both. And we were sitting there, a huge group of us. It was night, the stars were out, and we were all watching this one man. He was wearing the typical Saudi outfit. At the time, I didn't really know about it. I just remembered it was a scarf, and he had a long white beard, and it was waving in the wind. There was a slight breeze, and it just kept waving. And I just remember he was explaining to all of us about what we need to do and what will happen next. So that was something that I never forgot until today, and I just never knew where that came from. And It was kind of mind-blowing, come to think about it now. After high school, I had my own personal space to really, explore and to learn and to not really feel as restricted by my surroundings or by my family. And I decided to, again, look into Islam. What's going on? What is this Quran? I wasn't satisfied with the first copy I got. So I got back online and I ordered an additional copy, and it was an amazing copy. It was from yislam.org. I read through it from cover to cover, and it just clicked. It's like I found something I had always believed in, but I never had a name for. The main tenet of Islam that really struck me were the oneness of God, that God isn't divided into three. There is no Trinity in Islam. There's no real confusion about who the Creator is. That He doesn't have a son. He can create a son. He can create a man. He can create Adam without a father or a mother, and He created Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, without a father. And they're possible for God, and it doesn't take away from who He is, and He doesn't have to enter into a human body to make these types of things happen. He just says be, and it is. The thing that really attracted me to Islam was the perfectness of God, that God is not limited, that God is not confined, that God is not in a human body, or these things that I really had a difficult time believing as a Catholic child. That God is perfect in every way, that His knowledge encompasses all. These things really, really struck me as like, wow, this is what I've always believed in, that the prophets were perfect people. They didn't have these weird problems that you find in the Bible, like Noah being a drunk, and the problems with Nabi Lut, with the prophet Lot, or the problems with all these, with Prophet David. They all had these strange issues that you don't see with the prophets in Islam. That the prophets in Islam, which is the religion for all mankind, is that they were perfect people. They were people that we can look up to, that we can aspire to be like. And the seal of the prophets being Muhammad, peace be upon him. This is it. I found it, and I wasn't really looking for it. I was trying to figure out the world. I wasn't really looking for a religion. Long story short, guys, I felt like this is the religion for me. I learned about how to become a Muslim online, and I was scared that once I had faith settle in my heart, I was scared that I was going to die upon disbelief. Because if you believe that Islam is the truth, you need to go and take the testimony of faith. And that's just bearing witness that there's only one God worthy of worship, and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the messenger of that God.